So, Rick and Morty Season 3 Episode 4, titled Vindicators 3, The Return of Worldender, had some really interesting moments. First, Morty cashed in his right to choose every 10th adventure, and this episode is exactly 20 since Me Seeks and Destroy, where Rick gave Morty that power. Bravo to the creative team on their tight detailing. But, having said that, this episode has proven that Rick and Morty are going on tons of adventures that aren't documented for us to view, which either symbolizes how pointless these obscure details are, or it's making the case for the point I brought up last week, that we might not be getting episodes in perfect chronological order in the series. Some episodes certainly are in a timeline order, but other things get all wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey. We also see that Morty is continuing to mature, and he's on the cusp of being finished with Rick's crap. Morty is drained, he's tired of it, and he's practically becoming Rick's babysitter when other people get involved. Next, I want to touch on the idea of Rick being jealous that Morty admires the Vindicators. I think the jealousy is sincere, but I also think it's more complicated than we realize, much like Rick himself. I remember seeing a documentary on sororities, and one of the girls talked about their rush process, which is where they meet and review potential new members. What stuck out to me is that their goal, according to this one girl being interviewed, is to make everyone interested in them so that the sorority can select the cream of the crop. So, even if that sorority didn't want you for some reason, they still want you to want them because they might want your friend, and they definitely want the hype of everyone clamoring to join their group. I think Rick's involvement in his family works in the same kind of way. It's not that he wants Morty on his side out of love. It's more like Rick keeps the power in the family by jerking people's strings, and if the family gives their strings away to other people, Rick loses his hold. That's why Rick plays Beth like a $5 fiddle and acts like he loves her so much, then ultimately hurts her because he doesn't really care about her feelings. Like he said in Pickle Rick, there's really not a lot of incentive for him to get attached to that Beth when there are infinite Beths. So Rick wants the power over Beth, but not the emotional connection that Beth keeps mistaking Rick's attention for. And Rick's doing the same thing with Summer and Morty, or at least that's what I think. The last note I want to cover is about the Vindicators. They refer to their adventure as Vindicators 3. There are press releases or news articles or something that say Rick and Morty weren't in Vindicators 2, and that was due to personality conflicts. Then Rick later makes the statement of the Vindicators being Morty's poorly written friends. Nothing about that really makes sense in the context of the show. Sure, the Vindicators are a huge spoof on the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, but within the confines of the Rick and Morty series, they're real beings, right? So was this adventure to go on the set of a movie, or... Well, I'm really not sure, but that was something very strange that they kept highlighting throughout the episode. But I guess I'll be searching next week for more clues on that. Well, that's all I have for now, but this video's not quite over yet. We're expanding, so I have to plug our other channels. Total, we have the Fangirl, dealing primarily with movies and shows, Say Halo Goodbye Gaming, and the Fanily Family Vlogs. Links are in the description, and we would love to see you at all three channels. Okay, I think that's it. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to like, subscribe, and share this video. We have tons of material across our various channels that you are fully encouraged to go check out. And if somehow you can't get enough of me, please connect with me on Instagram at sayhalogoodbye or Twitter at _Fanily.